What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the second video, one of two that I've done on how to invest in IPOs. So in the last video, I went over the two rules that I follow in terms of IPO. Number one is to try to avoid it at all costs because they tend to have the same trend pattern. We can just look here at DoorDash. It usually goes up a bit and then it crashes. So it's on average, this is what happens with IPOs because these stocks, they really can't hold themselves up. And number two, if you're going to buy, you should at least see something called a double bottom. When it hits one bottom and it kind of fluctuates up, and then it hits a second bottom, but it's a little higher than the first. That's how you know, just by looking at it and removing all the technical bullshit that people tell you on YouTube. Just use your eyes and see, hey, listen, like something's going on here that doesn't require somebody yelling in my ear about technical words that I don't understand. You look and you see, is this a stock that I want to invest in? So those are the two rules that I follow. I want to continue with what I follow, whether or not I'm going to buy an IPO. So number three is I just don't invest in any IPO. DoorDash is, the food delivery service. I just don't see this being $1 trillion company, right? So I guess my third rule would be not all companies are worth investing in. So, if it was a company like Square, for example, which I do see changing the world, innovating, disrupting other markets, then yes. But DoorDash has a lot of competition. They're competing with Uber Eats. They're not the sole survivor. They don't have a lot of market share. They're competing with other companies for market share. So even though they IPO'd at well, this is ridiculous. A 150 IPO, that's crazy if you ask me. And that's why the stock dumped. Now, if we look at Airbnb, which again just recently IPO'd too, this is different. I do see Airbnb changing the game. They're disrupting different markets. You don't have to go to the hotel anymore. You know how expensive hotels are? No, you can just have an Airbnb for half the cost. So this is a disruptor, but DoorDash is not a disruptor. So number three, not all companies are good enough to invest in at IPOs. So you should really consider that when you're doing your research. And lastly, look at how high this was compared to its actual IPO. So it listed on December 10th at $68, but right now is 156, right? I think that's really high even for Airbnb. But people start to realize due to the hype that is being displayed in the media that, hey, I want to hop in on this. So instead of seeing a $68 stock on the day it IPOs, you see a $156 stock because the media did their quote unquote job by hyping up the stock and people are, piling into it. Let's not talk about even before the IPO. There are people who are able to buy the stock in a pre-IPO type of situation. So you and I don't get to this stock before the big time investors get to it. And that's one thing that keeps me from buying the stock at the very beginning. I do want to buy Airbnb, if I'm going to be 100% honest, because they meet my criteria. You have to be a disruptor. You have to prove your concept. I'm thinking right now, hey, when things start to get better in the economy, I want to start traveling. And I'm not thinking about a hotel that costs 2, 3 times as much. I think an Airbnb would be perfect, right? Because I can save a lot of money. So I would like to be in a stock like this because I know a lot of people are thinking the same. But at this price, knowing that it just got out, I'm not as willing as maybe if it was 3 months from now. So I hope you guys like and subscribe to keep the channel going. I love doing this, love doing what I do. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.